Hi, my name is Sahar, and I'm an observer participant. But I am a product of this culture, and nobody told me what to do, right? There is a cultural differences, and I was born, bred, okay, Palestinians from Kuwait. We went out in hot pants in the 60s, in the markets, and if you're strong enough, this culture does not stop you. You just have to show, and they respect you highly. The men in this culture, if you as a woman stand up for your rights, they respect you highly. So there is, but coming from the outside, people, anyway, the 60s and the 70s is not the 90s and the 80s. I agree with Linda here, it's not the culture, it's not religion. It's definitely, please shout at me if you think I'm right, systematic policies to wipe up education in the Middle East. My generation studied English better, religion better, science better. We have at the moment illiterate. The illiteracy is growing higher in the Middle East, especially amongst Palestinians, especially in the West Bank because of the closures, because of, West Bank and probably the whole of Palestine. So we have problems that actually, we have street gangs in New York, we have street gangs in everywhere else with better cultures and better, maybe, civilizations. But we have them here too. Above the normal social problems, above the normal religious problems, we have an occupation. But I think and we can discuss this as a heart's desire, but I think we have law and order. Law and order, I agree totally. Partly, I've been coming here for a long time. I think I'm sorry about shaking, I'm not good at public speaking.
It's okay, you're doing good.
I'm part of this, and I love this part of the world, all of it, including Yemen and Janubi, with all its problems, despite and for all its problems, because we have the best spirit in the world, and we only need just a hand out, and we have the best. I do not understand how people here in this country still don't hate. And I think you all agree with me. They still don't hate, not even the Israelis. This is a major thing.
They still have hope.
But, yeah. I feel, for the first time in my life, where I can walk on the ground here where nobody can tell me, but they can tell me, but I feel nobody can tell me I don't belong. I have lived my life excusing for myself for being on other people's land, being tolerated. This is the word. Thank you for tolerating. Thank you for tolerating. Whether it's England, whether it's America, whether it's Germany, and I've lived in all of these. It's lovely to be here, and they have something so unique. Law and order is one of them. They have developed their system to actually live under occupation. They refused to wear seatbelts for their own safety because it was a law that came from the Israelis, and this is what we have. This was a form of resistance for them. I sit and I say, you don't have to put it on. I said, no, I do it because I want to, because you're not driving safely, and they laugh at you. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm doing it, and I think you should do it. Let's be tolerant to people who've been through hell and out again, and they prove to be amazing. And please correct me if I'm wrong, and they're amazing. They need a helping hand and not lectures from outside.
I just want, speaking of law and order, Birzeit, when they used to close down the schools, I'll never forget, it was in the early, I'm going to start crying.
Well, I love you for it.
Anyway, I went to Gaza. You have no idea what those people are living through. Their heads were cut off, their hands were cut off. They have no homes. I mean, they threw rocks at me because I didn't cover my hair. I didn't judge them. They don't know any different. They don't know any different. Anyway, but Birzeit, when they used to close down, I remember I was in the house, and it was 7 o'clock in the evening, and all of a sudden, people are outside whistling around the whole West Bank. The students had organized themselves so that, in defiance of the Israelis, they would show them that, hey, you can't control us. Every day at a specific time, different every day, they'd go outside and whistle around the whole West Bank. The Israelis went nuts. Like, what kind of, uniformity is this, that they can actually organize themselves around the West Bank just to whistle, nothing else but whistle. These people are defiant, but it's not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's like freaking 60 some years. And we come in and we come out, and you know, yeah, بيعاكسوا بالبنات, and they do all that. And نلغ, شو أحكي لك? نلغ, العادة نلغ.
If you all
really
just allow me, I'm going to have to get us back on the law and order.
Yes, that's
And we do need to like put some recommendations down. So like if the problem you're talking about, if anyone can come up with some suggestions to control some of these problems, I mean, that's what we need to do. Go ahead.
Can I just finish the last?
Sure.
Absolutely. The one thing that is, besides of all this, that's one thing as a Palestinian that really gets me to the core, is that every time I read in the news and I hear people on the streets that if they're taken by the police, and this is very much police business, I'm in the security system, by the way, and security management, all what we hear is abuse. I hear people being beaten up by Palestinian police for parking the car in the wrong place. I want education for our police too.
But by the way, let me, I don't mean to cut you off. We are really making headways much better than other countries around us in that matter. There's a whole department that was created by the police, and it's been in existence for about 2 years now. Anyone can actually, if you are abused by the police, you can file charges against that police.
She's suggesting, you asked for suggestions. He's saying
no.
we need to educate and train the police
first.
on how to...
Because can I tell you only very quick three things that I've seen in my own eyes. Somebody parked in the Manger Square. He was told to, the way the policeman comes in and says, move your car from here, blah, blah, whatever.
Sensitivity training.
He walked out by the time, yeah, obviously. 2 days ago, a taxi stopped to drop somebody else. The policeman comes, بيت أبوك هو توقف هون. This is not a policeman's attitude. No way.
What do you say? Translation?
This is your father's house to stand here? This is a policeman talking to
How to deal with the...
Something else is, I was in Tulkarem. I'm a bit Tulkarem. Well, I claim Yafa. I'm in claim Yafa, but my father is Tulkarem. I stopped in front of the old council, whatever house. Now it's a museum. A museum in Tulkarem means mihrad, honest to God, mihrad, some old farmer's thing. From the outside, there's a window. I took a photo. A policeman comes because my 16-year-old gorgeous niece was with me. And we crossed the road, and he came to have a look at the girl. And I'm convinced. And he said, you're not allowed to take photos. I said, what, of mihrad? You know the situation. I said, no, I don't know what situation. Do you have a license? I said, for what? To take photos in Tulkarem? Hey, excuse me. No. Well, then you can't. I said, no, I will. Can I speak to an officer? He called somebody. I ended up in the middle of Tulkarem Square with 3 young teenagers from America standing there in their... We were the talk of the town, which I enjoy, because sometimes I do enjoy
Confrontation.
Born Palestinian, true and true. I had 7 officers coming in, 7, one after the other, telling me I can't take photographs of a little museum in Tulkarem. And I mean, my cousin was with me and said something like, "What is it? Nuclear? Is this Dimona or what? Or is this the Pentagon?" Please. At the end of the day, I actually wanted to put a complaint about a policeman يعاكس my niece, and they refused. They walked away. He said, "If I see you take photograph, you'll be in prison." So putting a campaign, a committee to accept complaints from
citizens.
It depends where the committee from. It has to be from citizenship, not from the police and not from the authority. There has to be a committee, a free committee. When I go to complain, I know that the 7 officers who we discussed over, I told him there's 2 face groups for Tulkarem. I have in 2004, 2005 taken these photos and downloaded on the group. Like it's everywhere.
That's a great idea.
Now, I have an idea here. You know, you're talking, I have an idea that maybe we can recommend creating like councils, groups between citizens and the police, where they can actually like meet once a month or something. They do it in the States, you know,
called
where
police
citizens councils.